What is going on, good people? Man, as you can see from that intro, we have had some struggles in this front yard. So I'm gonna set a couple of things straight right here at the beginning of this video. I will not be naming any of the product brands that I went down with that caused this, because that's not important. The reason this happened was not because of the product brand or the products that I was using. It was your boy. So I made a mistake. I went outside of all of the rules that I know and that I normally follow with this application. And sometimes we get a little comfortable, and you got to learn the consequences. And some things you got to learn them the hard way. So this is now present day, looking a little shaggy, but it's back green, and we're going to talk about how to get there and take care of the shagginess a little later on. All right, let's get into this video. So what happened? Back on June 15th, I went down with an application that was a little new for me this season, but not completely unfamiliar. I went down with two fungicides that I have commonly rolled together that I knew I had no issues with because I used it last season. And I also added in a fertilizer that was new for me to use this year. I completed a jar test to make sure there was no compatibility issues with those three products, and everything was all go there. So I went down with the application. Once the application was made, I did see some changes in the lawn, but it wasn't for the better. A couple of days later, I did begin to see some tip burn on the lawn. And as you can see, it was just the top quarter inch, maybe a half inch of the grass blade was completely brown. This is a phenomenon that happens when an application is either too hot or it is applied improperly. Okay, now to address the why did it happen. I ignored a number of rules that I normally follow and that I tell to you all. First one being, if you're working with a new product and you're gonna be going out at the higher rates, pick a section of your lawn and don't apply it to your entire lawn on your first application. So typically I will either pick my front yard, my backyard, or my test plot. And typically I pick my test plot for those applications because it's a smaller area, and if the application doesn't go well, it's the smallest area that's going to be impacted. The second thing is make sure that when you're making applications, you are using the proper amount of water volume for your carrier. I typically go down with a low water volume carrier, and I have gotten comfortable with those type of applications, and I have never had any issues with them until now. So when you are especially going down with products that contain a fertilizer and you're spraying them, be sure that you're using the proper water volume when you're making those applications. The next thing is make sure that you are watering in products that are required to be watered in, especially with fertilizers. So that next morning, I knew that we were supposed to get rain overnight. We did get some amount of rain, but what I did not do is go check my rain gauge to see how much rain we actually received. And after observing my rain gauge a little later on, I noticed that we basically only got a sprinkle of rain. So the product did not get watered in properly, and it was just sitting on the leaf blade for an extended amount of time. So as the days progress, you can see that the lawn changed, but it was not for the better. So these are a couple of reasons of why this happened. And this is another reason why label is law. And you should definitely make sure that you are reading the label for all of those details for your application. So how did we recover from this? The first thing is I went out and I gave the lawn some water, and that is it. So I made sure that the lawn was well hydrated the plants had enough water to be able to support some good, healthy growth. When these type of things happen, you can address them one or two ways. You can just allow the grass to continue to grow, and then you just cut off the brown tips of it over time as you make your cuts. Or you can make one cut and just go ahead and cut all of that brown out of there. But when you take off 3/4 of an inch of the grass and it's used to being at a higher height, you will take a color hit. So my choice was, I wanted to just go ahead and take my color hit and get rid of all of that brown that we were looking at, and that is what I did. After making that cut, as painful as it was to do, I wanted to make sure that the lawn was fed. I did not want to force growth, but I wanted to encourage a little growth and make sure that the lawn was fed and had the nutrients that it needed. So the first application I went down with was just some simple lawn solutions 600, and that was just to encourage a little bit of growth. That was about 0.05 pounds of N per K. So not a lot of nitrogen to push growth, but it does have some micronutrients in there, and also to give us a little boost in the color to get that color back. The next application that I went down with a week later was the 5814 from Higher Bricks. And y'all know I love my Higher Bricks fertilizer. So I went down with that, again, very low in nitrogen, but just wanting to encourage some good growth. And that was about 0.2 pounds of N per K. So over this period of time, I have only applied 1/4 pound of nitrogen just to help the lawn make sure that it was fed and encourage some good growth. And after those applications into this final week, Mother Nature has definitely been helping us out with the watering. We've had almost 5 inches of rain over the past week, and the lawn is recovering. She's even a little shaggy right now. So yeah, I think we need to take care of that. Let's get out here and take care of that real quick, and then we'll wrap this video up. Man. All right, y'all, we have now wrapped up this video. Man, this is what I'm talking about. We are back looking good. Again, let's just say this does happen to you. First off, be patient. This is going to take some time. Like I said, this happened on June 15th. It is now July 7th. So with that, it is going to take some time. Be patient. Make sure you're getting enough water on it. Make sure that it is fed properly, but don't push a lot of growth. So that's gonna wrap this video up. And as I always say, if you're striving to have those immaculate lawns or gardens, just know we work.